Hey guys, we are back for Bandcamp Dailies number 21, and we were supposed to have just a regular old sequel to last night's video. However, I was about to start the video and I went to my Bandcamp stats page, and apparently I have some more listens than I initially saw initially. Okay, that's a horrible intro, but basically what I'm trying to say is, so I was about to start the video, and I thought I was just going to do a video about Kansas City Shred 1 and District of Columbia Heavy Shit. However, I go to my page, and then we have these 3 listens and this listen as well. So now I didn't really have much time to prepare for those songs, and I did a little bit of prep, but I don't know, maybe the video will be better. So far, that's not the case. But either way, let's try to get to it as quick as possible. So Kansas City Shred 1, District of Columbia Heavy Shit. These are from the same album we talked about yesterday, Cassette Jams from between 1997 and the year 2000. So a long time ago when I was just a little boy. Not a little boy, but a very a younger version of myself. I was a teenager back then. And these ones, Introversions, Negative Awareness, these are from the album Spontaneous Synaptic Mutations. That album has 490 songs on it. Kind of a lot of songs. And it's kind of funny, we haven't talked about that album yet on this video series. So I've been looking forward to talking about these, but I didn't really have time to prepare. So either way, first, we're going to do the Cassette Jams one. We already talked about Cohesive Deterioration before, so we're not going to talk about that. So we basically have 5 songs to talk about. We're going to listen to all of them. The first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all very short. This one's like 8 minutes long. We're probably just going to listen to the whole thing all the way through. All right, so let's start with this one, Kansas City Shred 1. All right, so this is the Cassette Jams album. So like I mentioned yesterday, I'm not going to go into too much. I used to record on cassette tapes, and I used to record with a couple guys sometimes as well. And so Kansas City Shred features Ken, starts with K, and Chris, me, starts with C. So that's where Kansas City comes in. By the way, I didn't say this in yesterday's video, but I commented on the cover art. However, I didn't comment on how good looking I was. I mean, look at how good looking I was. I was a good looking little teenager back here, wasn't I? I was okay. I was okay looking. Oh yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up, I have a little text file here. It only has 2 bullet points. This is one of the bullet points. So I mentioned in previous videos how I feel like I don't look very old, because I'm 42, which I guess is kind of old, but I feel like I don't look that old. I feel like I look pretty good for my age, and maybe I've been a little overconfident because I made a video recently. It was just a few days ago. It was the one where I climbed the tower to take off the internet antenna. And there's a part near the end of the video where I'm on the roof and I'm looking for stuff on the roof that I had dropped. And it's the camera's quite close up to my like head. And so I'm looking for stuff. The camera's right here. And you get a real good shot of like the side of my head and my neck and stuff. And like I was looking at my neck and it looked like kind of wrinkly. It looked like an old man neck. So I feel like I'm starting to look my age now. So I guess, that was a bit of a reality check. I guess I'm not as hot as I initially thought. But I have this picture to remind myself how good I used to look. So there's bullet point number 1. Okay, so we're going to listen to Kansas City Shred. This was, like I mentioned yesterday, this was one of the sessions where Dave brought his drums over to my parents' house, and my parents and my siblings, they were gone for whatever reason. I don't know why, but Dave also wasn't there for some reason. I don't remember why either, but his drums were there. Ken came over. We smoked a joint, and we started improvising. Neither of us played drums. we both ended up playing drums on these songs, but this is Ken on drums and me on guitar. And back in these days, like I mentioned yesterday, I used to do these guitar solos where I'm just like screwing around, not hitting like actual notes and stuff. I'm just trying to be really fast. And I got quite good at doing that. And this is probably the best version of that guitar soloing that I've done. So it's kind of interesting. I had to stop doing that because it was way too hard on my fingers. And now I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. But okay, so let's listen to this. It sounds like I know what I'm doing, doesn't it? I was literally just screwing around, trying to play cleanly and stuff like that. And what was I trying to say? So this was in the year 1999. 1999, 26 years ago. 26 years ago. And how old was I back then? I did the math yesterday. I think I was 16 years old. Yeah, I was a 16-year-old guy. At the time, I think, I don't think my hair had grown out all the way yet. I had started growing my hair in the summer, so it probably wasn't very long yet. All right, so there is Kansas City Shred, the first. Yeah, like I said yesterday, I can still remember that jam session. It was very memorable jam session. It was during the day. I remember it was very nice weather outside. It was a fall day, very beautiful fall day in Sudbury, Ontario, and we smoked a joint and then we started jamming. Good times back then. And okay, so what's up next? This is District of Columbia Heavy Shit. So basically the title just means the song's heavy. Where is it? Here it is right here. All right. Okay, so this was just me and Dave. This was at Dave's mom's house. And so I remember, I'm pretty sure it's this session, the one that I remember. So I remember going to his house. I would often, whenever we would record at his place, I would bring my tape deck over there and we would record onto cassettes. And I remember I did that, hooked up the microphone. And so there's a recording volume knob. So you can adjust the levels, the recording levels. And so that's what I was doing. I was asking Dave to play drums. And then I remember I told him, okay, play his, because he wasn't playing very hard and sometimes he plays harder. And so, in order to adjust the levels, you have to, I wanted him to play harder. So I'm like, okay, hit it as hard as you can. And so he stands up and he literally hits it as hard as he can. And then we both look at each other and we burst out laughing because we realized that was a stupid question of me to say because that's not what I wanted him to do. I just wanted him to play as hard as he would play, not as hard as he could play. So but I still remember that moment because we just burst out laughing. It was very funny. The recording quality on this specific song is really bad. It must have been because of the tape that I used. You know, some tapes sound better than others. And so this song, this is another one of those songs, just like yesterday. These were just a bunch of riffs. I'd like half written this song. Dave didn't know the song. I don't think I ever played it for him before. This was just something I played alone occasionally. It was just a bunch of like heavy riffs. Actually, this song was inspired by the song Where the Slime Live by Morbid Angel. I don't remember what album that's from. I'm not really a Morbid Angel fan. I just, that music video used to come on TV a lot back in those days. And so, I mean, there are some cool riffs in that song, don't get me wrong. And so this song is inspired by that. So yeah, I'm playing the song. It didn't even have it wasn't fully arranged either. I was just sort of jamming the riffs, and then Dave was sort of trying to follow along. By the way, this song, my guitar was tuned very low. Before I was going to make this video, I wanted to know what the tuning was, but I forgot to do that. We can do it right now, though. I'll open up Power Tab, and we'll try and figure out what the tuning is. So it's either A or B flat. So let's try to go down. D, C, C. Okay, so this is B. It's not this. We have to change the instrument because that is horrible. Let's put it to the piano. This is what I usually use, the electric grand. Yeah, it's one down. It's one semitone down. Yeah, it's definitely this. So what is that? It's A sharp or B flat. Yeah, it's a B flat, right? That's what I said. Okay, mystery solved. Yeah, this I didn't normally write riffs like this, like the heavy, slower paced ones. I was normally doing like the tremolo picking and stuff like that. And so I didn't really have many songs with that type of riffing. And so I never released this song. I never recorded this song. This was just something that we ended up doing together. By the way, I just want to look at my teeth. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought my teeth looked better than they do now, but I guess not. It's a low resolution picture. Dave's using a double pedal. That's actually kind of interesting because he didn't normally use that. I didn't even know he had one back then. That's actually crazy. So this was how is that possible? 1999. Dave had a double pedal back then? You know, he's switched his drum gear a lot over the years. That's really interesting for me. Because I know him as a single, I'm talking about bass drum pedals, as a single pedal guy. And yet he's using a double pedal back in 1999. Wow. Yeah, so I mentioned this yesterday. Dave lived very, very close to me. Dave's mom's place and my parents' place were very close to each other. I lived in a cul-de-sac, and then he lived on a street. And actually, in order for me to get to his place, I mean, I could show you on a map, but I don't want to dox both of us, or him at least. He may even still be living there. I don't know. But so basically, if I would take the road to get to his house, it would take, I don't know how many times longer, but it was a crazily huge amount longer distance-wise, compared with me just cutting through the backyard of one of my neighbors, and then their backyard meets up with his backyard. And so it's so much faster. So that's what I used to do to get to his place. I remember going there one night. It wasn't for this, but it was another night. This was when I had my full long hair. And this was at night, just like I said. And so basically between my neighbor's backyard and his backyard, there's some trees, like a little, very, very small amount of woods. And so I was trying to get through these woods, and it's very dark out and I couldn't see. So I grabbed my lighter and I lit it so I could see where I'm going. But I was like trying to dodge branches, getting hit in the face with branches, and my hair gets into the flame and my hair catches on fire. So I lit my hair on fire because I'm an idiot. And so there was like some of my hair. Yeah, there was a bit of a chunk missing from my hair. It was pretty embarrassing. And I get to his place, and of course it smells like burnt hair. And there were a couple like other guys there, and they're like, "Jesus, you reek." And I actually like the smell of burnt hair. I don't know why. My friends and I, way back in Newfoundland days, 1997 to 99, we used to play with lighters a lot, and we would burn the hair off our arms and stuff like that because we're stupid. But I guess I just sort of, I like the smell of burnt hair because of that. Okay, I start adding some pinch harmonics to this, and it sounds pretty sick. This part I'm improvising. Dave was always improvising for the whole song, but now I'm improvising. So basically the song that I wrote is over. Now we're just improvising together. Is that too many pinch harmonics? Okay, we made it. We made it through that 8-minute and 46-second song. Good God. All right. Okay, so we did that album. Now let's go to the next album. This is Spontaneous Synaptic Mutations, Part 1, by the way. I forgot to mention that, Part 1. 2017, I recorded literally 1,000 16-second drum tracks. 1,000 over the course of, I don't know how many days. But it was all in February of 2017. I didn't realize it was that year until I looked at the credits for this album. It's a long time ago. Now, this was the first album that I recorded with my new drum kit, and it came in pieces. If I remember correctly, my new snare wasn't here yet, and also my new drumming throne. People call it a throne, but I just call it a seat. Hadn't arrived either. Which was a problem because my previous drum seat had literally broke and you couldn't use it anymore because it didn't, you couldn't sit on it. And so, I was really wanting to record the drums for this album. So I ended up hunting through like a shed, and there was this old green like chair. It was like an office chair or something. It looked like it was from the 70s. And I brought it in, but I had to screw in like these chunks of wood onto the legs to raise the height to get to my normal drumming height. And I used that. I sat on that to record drums. It's actually still in the back there, the chair. That's actually hilarious. I used it once, for one recording session, and then I never used it again. And if I remember correctly, I just remember this today actually. I sort of modified my drum kit. I ended up putting, because my new drum kit came and there were some extra cymbals as well, and so I put my old ride to the left of me, so I had an extra ride. I think I had an extra other cymbal as well. But it was actually really cool. I really liked having the ride on the left. I also had my new ride on the right. But it was really cool for playing blast beats. Normally when I play blast beats with my right hand, I alternate. I can play them with both hands. But when I play with when I hit the snare with my right hand, my left hand is either playing the hi-hats or the china. And so it was really nice to have a ride on that side, because it added some new sounds, which was really nice. So basically, this album, I wanted to make a 1,000 song album, and so, but I ended up only doing half of it, and not even half. I did 490. So, so there's like chunks of 100. So there are 5 different groups. I'm not going to get too into this, but depending on so like track 1 to 100 was a chunk. Track 101 to 200, that was like a group as well. And each group had a different premise as to how I was going to record the guitars. So this album only has drums and 2 guitars. So there's no vocals on it. It's all instrumental. But how I approached the guitars depended on what chunk or what group of songs I was recording at the time. And so for track 1 to track 100, the Introversions, negative awareness ones, this means that there were no rules. So basically I would just do whatever I wanted. And all of this was completely improvised, by the way. Again, it was freestyle, free jazz, completely improvised, and it was also randomly arranged, just like my Self-Inflicted Memory Loss album. It was basically, it was it had the same philosophy as the Self-Inflicted Memory Loss album, but it also had this extra stuff with the groupings and how I would approach the guitars. So yeah, so like I said, track 1 to 100, there were no rules, so I didn't really have to talk about the groupings, but I'll just give you an example. Track 2 or like one of the groups involved hooking my echo pedal up to my guitar, so that's a really cool grouping. I think what is that one called? The Auditory Hallucinations, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Auditory Hallucinations. So we have 1, 2, and I believe 13. That's what we're going to listen to. 1, 2, and 13. Yes. And I also have a Reaper project where we can do where we can isolate the tracks. So isolate the drums and then isolate both guitars, just like we normally do with the Self-Inflicted Memory Loss songs. So that's going to be real fun as well, because I don't think I've done that with this album before. So that's kind of cool. I did listen to these songs before the video. So yeah, I guess we'll listen to the full songs here and then we'll isolate the tracks after. Okay, so just to remind you, this is all improvised, and each instrument is completely unaware of what the other instruments are playing. So when I was recording, I was listening to silence. I was just listening to the instrument I was playing. And then after the fact, when I finished recording all of these things, they were randomly arranged together. And so it's complete nonsense, nonsensical. Some would say, most would say, unlistenable, but I find it to be quite interesting and fun. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to do. I've listened to this album quite a bit over the years. I prefer Self-Inflicted Memory Loss to this album, but I still do enjoy this album. It definitely has some bright spots. This was also the first time when I used my echo pedal, I think, for this style of music. And so there's definitely some really cool sounds on the Auditory Hallucinations sections. All right. So yeah, we're going to go to track 13 now. Yeah, so you get the idea. Just imagine listening to 1,000 songs of this. I could do that. Actually, I uploaded this entire album to YouTube, and it's 2 hours and something long. Each song is only 16 or 17 seconds. That's kind of funny. Oh, here you go, 211. Or 216:58. I don't know which one's right. But uploading this to Bandcamp was a huge pain in the ass. Oh my God. I don't know. There's not really a limit to how many songs you can upload, but you get over 100 and it's just so laggy. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like you press upload on a song, you pick a song to upload, and then actually, I'm pretty sure for this album, I signed up for the Bandcamp Premium because it lets you do batch uploading. So instead, before, if you have the free Bandcamp, you have to upload a song one at a time. I didn't want to do that for 490 songs. So I ended up getting the Bandcamp Premium. I uploaded everything, but I still had to type out all the titles for every single song. And so, when I would click a track and then click into the title, into the bar. What am I trying to say? Like the word bar where I can type, the text bar, the text window. There was this huge delay. It was so annoying. And it got so ridiculous that like I don't even want to finish this album because I'd have to do that all over again with the 490. I have to do like 510 more songs. Yeah, so that was not fun. Anyway, let's go to... We listened to 3 songs. Okay, now let's isolate some tracks. We'll go to the first one. All right, so let's do the drums first. Okay, by the way, let's center the guitars so that I don't bother people who use headphones. Yeah, the drums sound horrible on this album. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't think I recorded. Yeah, because I'm using my old snare drum. I wasn't recording the toms from underneath like I normally do. So it was a learning experience. So that was track 1. Let's do this and we'll listen to the first guitar. Okay, so I've not done this before with the guitars. This is going to be very strange. I don't know what the hell I just played there. Okay, I mean, that was a thing. Let's go to the next song. So how do I do this? I figured out how to do it before because I want to move the cursor like this, the start point, but I don't want to unhighlight all this. I think I've got to go like underneath all the stuff, and I'll do this, and they'll stay all highlighted. Yes, I think I understand now. Okay, nice high energy drum track. Yeah, that definitely sounds like the song. Though there's like a couple of parts where I can hear the other guitar in my head. So, but this is basically the song, this guitar track. So I'm interested in hearing what the other, I feel like there's going to be another, because right here, there was a harmonic near the end. And I think there's going to be another, I don't know if it's going to be a harmonic on the other guitar as well, or if it's just going to be a high string. I'm not sure. It's just a high string. I love that. Oh my God. That's like an actual sad sounding guitar riff. I would like write something like that. I want to listen to that again. I want to listen to it on repeat. Yeah, I mean, I could listen to this on repeat for like the next 2 hours. I'm assuming anyone watching this would go insane long before that, but I absolutely love that riff. Oh my God. Okay, so that's going to become a song in the future, 100%. All right, so let's go to the track 13. I was not expecting that at all. I feel like I don't hear that when I think of that song. Very strange. There's 490 of these to do, so there's bound to be more surprises. All right, so let's do the drums. Okay, that was very, very nice. High paced, fast paced, high octane drum track. Let's see what the guitars sound like. By this point, I'm like, okay, because you have to come up with so many tracks, and you want to try and, what's the word? You want to try and do something different each time, but there's just so many tracks. And then so for this one, I just tried to screw around, making sounds, making noises. It sounds like an animal scratching at something. Okay. Not bad. That reminds me of like a black metal song, tremolo picking those chords. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're going to go back to track 2 because I have to listen to this guitar track again. However, I'm going to add the drums as well. And so we're going to listen just to this guitar track. We're going to mute the first one. And we're going to listen to the second one along with the drums. I don't know if the guitar will be loud enough, but we'll just check it out. Okay, well, that was amazing. I really liked that. This video is worth it due to that. Okay, so I think that's going to be it. I didn't want to make the video very long, but it's 44 minutes again. So I was thinking, oh yeah, we had 2 listens, so it's going to be a nice short video. I always want to make short videos, but I'm unable to because I don't know how to express myself properly. And then I go check my Bandcamp page and we have even more listens. And so, but anyway, I very much enjoyed this. So if anyone wants to listen to more of these songs, go ahead. We'll isolate tracks. We'll find some interesting surprises. So until then, I will see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but I'll see you next time. Hey, by the way, I forgot to talk about the cover art. What the hell? So yeah, the cover art on this album, it looks pretty sweet. Now, you probably wouldn't believe me if I told you, but this is actually a photograph of one of my TV antennas. And I brought it into GIMP, the photograph, and I made it black and white. I screwed around with the levels, and then I also added a kaleidoscope filter, I believe. And so that's why it looks like this. And I can actually show you what the original photograph was like. I don't know if I have the original photograph, but I mentioned my recent video where I went up the tower to remove the internet antenna. So the TV antenna here is up on the top of my tower. So I'll just show it to you. Hey guys, we are back and we are outside, and I actually have to go up the big tower and I have to uninstall an internet antenna. By the way, another thing that makes me old from this video is I noticed like my chin hairs, it was starting to get a lot of white ones. Starting to get a lot of white on my chin. So it's this antenna right here. This antenna, like this square thing right here, this is this with a kaleidoscope filter added. So that's kind of interesting, is it not? And I wonder if we'll be able to get a better look at it. Because I'm going to zoom in shortly. Oh, yeah. So it's like right up there. So you can see like the back is a grid. I think they call it hardware cloth. And then we have some aluminum elements right here. It's like a zigzag. And so that is this. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I wanted to mention that, but I forgot to mention it. And I didn't add it to my text file. So anyway, for real, I'll see you next time.